Politicians from several political parties descended on Badaun, some in helicopters, some in fancy cars. How many of them genuinely concerned about these rape victims, the two young girls who were raped and murdered, and how many only saw this as a political photo opportunity to make brownie points, to score brownie points and target their opponents? Now there are 5 pictures that we're putting out on your television screen. You had the Congress Party Vice President Rahul Gandhi there on Saturday, BSP Supremo and former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Mayawati. She even offered 5 lakh rupees in compensation to the victims' families. The same afternoon, former Lok Sabha Speaker Meira Kumar, Samajwadi Party MP Dharmendra Yadav, they reached and had a photo op right in front of that mango tree where the 2 girls were hanged after being brutally gang raped and murdered. Today, it was LJP Chief Ramvilas Paswan who visited Badaun accompanied by his son Chirag Paswan. The question is, what is it that these visits achieve? We'll put that question to our guests on the show, but before that, let's listen in to the father of the victim.
चाहिए तो मैं न्यायी सीबीआई जांची, चाहे वो लिखे या चिट्ठी या ना लिखे, ये तो उनके बात है। मैं मांग तो यही है, न्याय चाहिए, मुझे सीबीआई जांच चाहिए। अंदर से गार्ड की जरूरत है। आज सरकार पे मुझे कोई भरोसा नहीं। हाँ, ये लोग कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ मीडिया वाले चले जाएंगे, वो नेता चले जाएंगे, फिर अभी हमारी 3 साल बकाया हैं, मैं महाभारत बना दूंगा, ये खबर आ रही है, कह रहे हैं लोग।
That's telling commentary. The father of the victims, he's still very scared. He has no faith in the Uttar Pradesh government. He has no faith in the Uttar Pradesh police. He fears once the media goes from there, once the television cameras go away from there, he'll be victimized. He may well be harassed like his 2 daughters. They were gang raped, and look at the sheer arrogance of those rapists. They not only gang raped and murdered the girls, the sheer arrogance that they will not be arrested because it is the Akhilesh Yadav government, Yadav police, Yadav criminals, Yadav chief minister. Is that the thinking in Uttar Pradesh? Sharad Pradhan is a senior journalist. He's seen Uttar Pradesh very close. He joins me on the broadcast. Also joining me is Shaina NC of the BJP. Sharad Pradhan, the father of the victims, is very scared. He still fears he will not get justice. Is his fear justified?
Well, you know, the way things are, I wouldn't doubt, although the way he's saying, he seems to be a bit, I mean, the way manner in which he was saying and the stance that has changed, it appears that he could also be a little tutored. But fact is that in Uttar Pradesh, there is terrible lawlessness, and this always happens that whenever such incidents occur, and as long as the media is there is a lot of attention of the police. The moment the media goes, it is the police which starts victimizing the people. Apart from the culprits who have been involved, who are being, in this case, they are being patronized. They happen to be all belonging to the Yadav community, which is ruling the state also. And the local member of parliament is the nephew of Mulayam Singh Yadav, who did not care to visit that place for 3 days. It is only after other politicians, Rahul Gandhi had been there. It is shocking. The UP Chief Minister has not visited that place even now. Now if he goes, it has no meaning. Yes. So, but as far as the other politicians are going, let me tell you, they all have their own political axe to grind. Nobody is actually interested in sorting out this problem at the very root, or hitting out at the problem at the root. This is all
that's a very important
knee-jerk reaction which they show, and they show largely to serve their own political interests.
That's a very important point you're making, Sharad. Let me quickly bring in Shaina NC of the BJP. Shaina, these are politicians who are visiting that place for a photo op. Whether it's a Rahul Gandhi or a Meira Kumar or even Chirag Paswan and Ramvilas Paswan today, what does their visit achieve? What change have they brought about by going there, Shaina?
Gaurav, it's a complete law and order failure in Uttar Pradesh, and we all know that this is the height of arrogance of this young so-called youth leader as a chief minister who hasn't even been proactive. Yes, there have been lots of leaders who have come to Uttar Pradesh and have shown their solidarity. But I think unless there is fear of law and unless we are able to make sure that these perpetrators, in this case the police, are treated as murderers and the police and the government acts proactively, public is not going to rest, because this is the most demeaning case that we have seen to women, especially to young Dalit girls who are found hanging on a tree. We don't live in a barbaric era, so this outcry is evident and it's a must.
It indeed is, and we live in a very barbaric era. The sheer arrogance, as you rightly point out, Shaina. Sharad, you know Uttar Pradesh better than most. Explain this to us. Explain this to us. You have to be absolutely inhuman to gang rape two young girls, two young teenage Dalit girls, then murder them, and then in sheer arrogance, because you know you are above the law cannot touch you, you hang them from a tree inside that village. That's a signal that you are sending out to other Dalits in that area, that you dare not raise your voice. We are Yadavs, we rule the roost. Is that the signal that is going out, Sharad?
The bigger signal.
No, that is exactly what. First, let me make one correction there. The girls are not Dalits, they belong to a lower OBC community.
That's right.
So there's a lot of confusion over this, but they are not Dalits. So irrespective of the fact whether they are Dalits or not, they are young teenage women, minor girls, and this kind of treatment, and this is not the first time this is happening in UP. Unfortunately, there is no mechanism. Successive political parties who have ruled UP have not cared to do this. That's what I said, that only when such incidents occur, it is just for a fortnight or so, or maybe for a month, that this kind of, as long as media attention is there, all political parties take interest and they keep firing their training their guns at each other. Ultimately, this particular class, the underprivileged class, continues to suffer in this manner. You will have to find the same incident occurring after a few days, because the basic problem is the rampant corruption in the police. It is extremely bad policing in Uttar Pradesh, and the corruption levels have gone to such an extent that there is no control. And in the present situation, a large number of the Thana heads, which is the SHOs, happen to belong to the Yadav community, and they have a one-to-one equation with one of the members of the ruling family.
Yes,
you know,
the 5.5 chief ministers.
So they are absolutely unbridled. Let me complete. They are unbridled. They don't listen to their superiors. They don't listen to the DGP. The Home Secretary has no control over them. So how do you run the state? It is not as if now let me clarify. It is happening in this government. It happens, though it becomes the worst. It is not as if it doesn't happen in BJP's time or in Congress time, or it hasn't happened in Mayawati's time.
No, in fact, the question that I have, Sharad, for Shaina NC,
absolutely crazy.
Absolutely, Shaina, the question I have is, you and I were debating exactly the same issue after the Delhi gang rape case, and from exactly the same location. You know, we were barely a kilometer and a half away at India Gate that time. But look at what happened in Parliament subsequently. Is it then time to bring in laws where you hang the rapist, especially if he's raping a minor? And in such cases, you need to bring in strong laws. And for some reason, our politicians, we saw the way that debate happened in Parliament, that left many people thinking that our members of Parliament, our honourable members of Parliament of the previous Parliament, were not very serious about this issue. Shaina.
Gaurav, if I can just add to that, if you remember Mulayam Singh's terrible comment which says कि लड़कों से गलती हो सकती है, या Abu Azmi's comment after that from the Samajwadi Party, where he said that, you know, the woman needs to introspect and look at what she's wearing and what she does, and a kind of portraying women as a derogatory object. I think this objectification of women one has seen in the state of Uttar Pradesh, from the leadership to the unfortunate part is the men in our society, and we need to work collectively on a change of mindset. That's a foregone. But I think what your point you're highlighting, which is fast track courts, the guilty won't be spared, the guilty should be given punishment immediately, and a coordination between a political will at the center and proactiveness in a defunct state. if you have a law and order situation such as this in Uttar Pradesh repeatedly, where we've seen there have been so many other cases after this atrocity,
Yes.
I feel that as a woman in this country, we haven't been able to even basically empower ourselves with basic respect from the man on the opposite side, which is the unfortunate situation.
Okay, on ground, Sharad Pradhan, what is it that needs to be done that the Akhilesh Yadav government hasn't done? Because that message doesn't seem to be going. As Shaina Insi was rightly pointing out, this wasn't an isolated incident, and there hasn't been a drop in incidents even after this. Even now there's been an incident where a woman was forced to drink acid after she was raped and then killed.
Gaurav, you know what happens? These kind of incidents are actually rampant in UP. It is, I should say, it is thanks to the media that they're getting highlighted now. It is not as if they are not happening every day. It is a shame. It is a shame on whoever is governing the state that they don't get down to understanding the ground reality. There is no mechanism to improve the quality of governance at the grassroots level. As I pointed out, a major problem is corruption in the police. You know what happens is, I'll just explain to you briefly. You know what happens when a poor, particularly when dealing with poor people, of which there is, 80% people in UP live, 60% people live almost below the party line.
Yes.
You know, a poor man going to a police station is literally, he cannot enter, because the problem is, apart from intimidation, it is also that the cop sitting inside is the first thing that he demands is money. If
But
a
it's
man
yatha
goes to the
raja
problem
tatha
of whether it is
praja.
murder, dacoity, rape, it is of no concern to the cop. And this
But
is
that
where
change,
Sharad, he knows that from a poor man he can't get money, so he kicks him out. He doesn't. In this case also, the police refuse to listen to the complaint, and there is nothing been done in years to improve, to ensure that any common man going to a police station and ensuring registration of a complaint. This is something which no government has done. Neither
But that
BJP,
change,
nor
yes,
Congress,
that change
nor
needs to
Mayawati,
come from
nor
the top,
Mulayam Singh.
Sharad. That change needs to come from
Yes.
the top. Look at the Chief Minister. He
was a
still
lot of
hasn't visited
expectation
that
from
place.
Akhilesh. He
Akhilesh Yadav has still not visited Badaun. The Chief Minister, former Chief Minister Mulayam Singh Yadav, he says boys will be boys and doesn't want strict action in rape cases. What is the message that the Chief Minister or the ruling family in Uttar Pradesh sends down, whether to the rank and file of the party, to the police, or to the society in general, Sharad?
I think he is so lost, he appears so lost. I fail to understand why any chief minister should have not visited the place as the first reaction. Going now, even if he is so far, he is not cared to even go. If he had gone there and taken prompt action and had that, he should have had the courage to order a CBI inquiry right then. He ordered a CBI probe only well after the matter was raised, even in the UN. That speaks of of being very, very insensitive. And you must have heard, in addition to what Shaina pointed out about Mulayam Singh, let me draw your attention to the remark that Akhilesh made 3 days back when he was on a visit to Kanpur, on a social visit to Kanpur, and a journalist asked him about the Badaun rape incident.
Yes.
He said कि अरे आप तो सुरक्षित हैं, आप सेफ हैं, तो क्यों आप फिर जाके प्रचार करिए हमारी सरकार कितनी अच्छी चल रही है, कितनी अच्छी व्यवस्था है. Can you imagine this? It was shocking for a chief minister to be reacting in this manner to this very incident of rape. So how do you expect his own cousin, who is the member of parliament from there among the 5 people who got elected from the Samajwadi, all family members?
No, you're spot on. You're spot on. Shaina, what is it that needs to be done? Shaina, closing comments from you. What is it that needs to be done to sensitize these people, to sensitize our ruling elite that this is unacceptable in New India? They cannot continue to govern us if this is how they govern us.
No, absolutely. I think that there's a huge law and order question when it comes to the lack of political will that we have seen repeatedly. But I think more importantly is the question that where is the proactiveness 24 hours after a case? You have leaders just talking out of the box and out of the blue, not welcoming CBI inquiries, not being proactive, ensuring that that they are only keeping their fiefdom intact. I think the public has given them a reply in this Lok Sabha election, which is absolutely befitting. And I think in the next assembly, they're going to be wiped out only because of this arrogance of power.
Okay, we'll track that story very, very closely. We here at Headlines Today will ensure justice for the victims, and we'll track the story till the victims, they and their families get justice. The father should not feel abandoned. For the moment, Sharat Pradhan and Shine INC, many thanks for joining me.